God, are you okay? Help! Somebody help us!
You will disappear tonight, and the dirt will keep your secret better than any person ever could. Vivian Hawley said it softly, almost kindly, as if she were ending a long day instead of ending a life. She stood at the edge of a fresh pit in the backwoods of the Cross estate, moonlight sliding over her perfect dress. Below her, Ethan Cross lay bound and gagged, the billionaire's only son, his eyes wide with a kind of shock that had nothing to do with fear and everything to do with betrayal. Hours earlier, Vivian had been laughing beside him at their engagement party, letting cameras catch her smile, letting guests whisper about how lucky Ethan was. She had danced with his father, Daniel Cross, and called him family with a warm hand on his arm. She had played her part so well that even the chandeliers seemed to glow for her. But here, hidden in the trees where no one heard the wind, she wore the truth of herself like a second skin. Ethan tried to move, to speak, to break the gag with his teeth. The rope cut into his wrists. The smell of wet soil and crushed leaves filled his throat. He wanted to ask why, but the answer was in Vivian's eyes. She had never loved him. She had loved what his name opened for her. She had loved the future she could take. This pit was not rage. It was strategy. Vivian lifted her hand. The groundsman she had paid to dig the hole raised a shovel. The first load of dirt slid down onto Ethan's chest. Then another. Ethan bucked hard, a trapped animal under a sky that no longer mattered. Earth pattered over his face, into his hair, into the corners of his eyes. Vivian watched without blinking. "You always thought kindness made you safe," she murmured. "You thought trust was a shield. But trust is just a door left open." The dirt rose quickly. Ethan's breath grew thin. His mind lit up with fragments of life that felt cruelly bright now. His mother's laugh in the kitchen years ago. His father teaching him to swim, telling him that fear only wins when you start believing it. Vivian's first kiss under a city light, the way she had looked at him like he was chosen. He had wanted to be chosen so badly that he had missed the hunger behind her smile. When the last shovel fell and the groundsman stepped back, the mound looked like nothing more than a patch of churned earth. Vivian smoothed her dress and handed the man an envelope. He did not need to know what he had done. He only needed to leave. And he did. Inside the mansion, Daniel Cross slept calmly. He believed his son had gone early to bed, tired from the party. The staff moved through quiet halls, locking doors, clearing glasses. The house settled into its late-night breathing. Elara, the maid, was the last to finish. She was small, gray at the temples, hands rough from years of work that rarely earned. A thank you? She had raised her own boy on wages from other people's homes and buried him when a factory accident took him away. Since then, she trusted silence more than promises. She cleaned, she listened, she watched. And she kept her dignity folded tight inside her apron as she turned off a service hallway light. A sound cut through the stillness. Not a scream, not even a clear voice. Just a thin, broken cry, like air trying to find its way out of the ground. Elara froze. She knew the difference between night noises and human fear. The sound came again, faint and desperate, pulling at something deep in her chest. She walked outside in the cool darkness. The garden light stopped at the tree line, leaving the woods. In shadow, her breath fogged lightly in front of her. She stood still, listening. The cry returned, weaker now, from somewhere beyond the tool shed. Elara did not hesitate. She grabbed a flashlight and moved into the trees. The beam bounced over roots and dead leaves. The estate felt too quiet, like it was holding its own breath. She followed the sound to a clearing where the soil was fresh and dark. A shovel leaned against a stump, still dusted with clay. Tracks cut through the grass. Elara's heart tightened. Fresh earth at night meant trouble. Fresh earth with a cry beneath it meant only one thing. She dropped to her knees and pressed her ear to the mound. The sound came from directly below, a scrape and a muffled plea. Alive. Elara grabbed the shovel and dug. Dirt flew. Her arms burned. Her back screamed. She dug anyway. The soil was loose, rushed, not packed by time. Every scoop brought the sound. Closer. Her flashlight shook as the shovel struck cloth. She threw the shovel aside and clawed the earth with her hands. Ethan's face broke through, pale, covered in mud. His eyes latched onto hers like a man pulled from deep water. Elara ripped off the gag. Ethan sucked air in a harsh, trembling gasp. Vivian. He choked out. She did this. Elara felt the name land inside her like a stone. She had watched Vivian glide through the house for months, all charm and cold edges. She had seen the way Vivian never learned staff names, the way she looked at people as tools. Elara understood instantly. She pulled Ethan up, half dragging him toward the shed. "Quiet," she whispered. "If she knows you are alive, she will come back." Inside the shed, Elara cut his ties with a small blade she used for parcels. She wiped dirt from his eyes with the edge of her apron. Ethan shook with shock and cold, but his voice stayed clear enough to follow her plan. They moved out through the side paths, away from windows, away from the places Vivian might watch. At the delivery gate, Elara stopped. "Call your father from." "Here, not inside." "Not yet." Ethan dialed with trembling fingers. When Daniel answered, sleepy and glad, Ethan's words came out raw. "Dad, I am alive. Vivian tried to bury me. Elara saved me." "Do not let Vivian see you move." Daniel Cross did not shout. He went quiet in a way that meant the world had shifted. Then he moved like a man who had survived loss and refused to meet it again. Security was called without alarms. Police arrived without lights. Every exit in the mansion was sealed before Vivian could sense the change. In the early gray of morning, Vivian sat at the breakfast table in soft white, rehearsing the grief she planned to perform later. She sipped tea and practiced a sad face in the dark window reflection. She was already arranging the story of a missing fiancé, a tragic search, a loyal fiancé holding the family together. She did not hear the footsteps until Ethan stood across from her. Mud still clung to his shoes. His eyes were steady, not angry, just clear. Behind him came Daniel, and behind Daniel, 2 officers. Elara stood slightly to the side, quiet as ever, but unshakable. Vivian's cup slipped in her hand. Her mouth opened, but no lie rose fast enough. Ethan spoke first, his voice low and firm. "You left me under the ground. I heard you. I survived you." Daniel's face held a kind of pain that turned to iron. He did not ask questions. He was done. With confusion, the officers stepped forward. Vivian tried to back away, but the room had no softness for her now. Her risks were taken. Her plan collapsed in the space of one breath. As they let her out, she snapped her head toward Elara, eyes wild. "How did you find him?" Elara's answer was calm. "Because some of us still listen when the world chooses not to." When the door closed, the mansion felt lighter, as if poison had left the walls. Daniel pulled Ethan into a hug that shook with relief, the kind of embrace that says, "I almost lost you, and I will not waste another second." Then Daniel turned to Elara. His voice cracked. "You saved my son." Elara lowered her eyes, uncomfortable with praise, but her heart steadied. She had dug because a human voice called out beneath the dirt. She had dug because she knew what it meant to lose someone and hear only silence in return. In the end, power did not save Ethan. Money did not save him. A woman with a flashlight, a shovel, and a heart that refused to look away saved him. And in that quiet rescue, truth rose from the ground stronger than any trap meant to bury it.